G'day, hi, and welcome. All right, what you are looking at here is my tack, and this is going to be a year. I bought it March 2020, and we are now October 2022. So a little over a year and a half, I guess, or around a year and a half, whatever it is. You can add up the months. So I've had this guitar long enough to give you my where are my jammies? To give you my honest opinion about this guitar and whether you should buy it or not. And I'll read you out the model. My short range eyesight's not as good as it used to be, so it's a GD30ce-12 BLK. BLK is for black, and it's a G series guitar. But there's several different levels of G series guitar. If you look at the tack lineup, they've got a lot of model of guitars. So I've had this beautiful guitar for like I say, a little over a year now, and I can give you my honest opinion whether this guitar is worth spending the money on for certain things. If you're thinking as a recording artist, I've recorded with it. If you're thinking of it as a live musician, obviously I've only played it on stage live once, but I play this guitar almost on a daily basis. Well, I pretty much play it every day. I mean, there's 7 guitars in this room, and this one gets, a lot of enough work on it. Trust me, I have proof that I play this guitar an awful lot, which is pros and cons that I'll get into. So, if you just want to kind of save yourself the whole, should you buy the guitar, should you not buy the guitar? I don't want to say don't buy it. Unfortunately, I'm going to have some very negative things to say about this guitar. I'm going to have a lot of positive things to say about this guitar, but I'm going to be very, very truthful with you. Like when I buy an instrument, I buy, like for example, my Ibanez AEL 10 that's sitting over there, acoustic guitar. I bought that in 2005, and yeah, it's got issues now just because I've beaten it up for the past 17 years, or whatever it's been, 2005 to now. Well, yeah, about 17 years or whatever it is. If my math is off, don't fry me in the comments. That guitar has been rock solid. It's paid for itself many times. It's been a great stage guitar. Not the best sounding guitar, but reliable. Like you could beat somebody senseless with that guitar and it'd still stay in tune. You could throw it in the snowbank and still stay in tune. Like it's just a rock solid guitar. But I'll review that guitar at a different time. So I'm very pleased with that guitar at $400. Yeah, you get what you get for $400, but I was not expecting to get that much out of $400. This was $630 Canadian. Normally $650. The guy gave me a little bit of a deal, and then plus tax. These guitars now are going for, I've seen them on average now between $700 and $800. I'll just flat out say at $700-800, save your money, go find something better. Okay, so let's have a little listen to it for now, and I'll see if you can pick out some issues here. Sounds pretty good, doesn't it? so that should be enough of a play. If you have your headphones on and you got good headphones, you probably already heard the issue I'm talking about. And if you play 12 strings, you probably already know the issue I'm about to mention. So hopefully I can get this all done in one parter here. But okay, if you didn't notice, that the guitar is not quite fully in tune. It's fully in tune. It's not quite fully in tune. It's fully in tune. Pretty much fully in tune. Fully in tune. Not quite fully in tune. Plot thickens, doesn't it? Okay, so I bought this guitar, and as you can tell, it's a very good sounding guitar. Like, it's a mahogany back and sides. I think it's a Seeker spruce top. Typical recipe. I'm not sure what the neck is. It's probably a maple. Fingerboard, I believe, is rosewood. It could be one of those fancier other woods, but I'm pretty sure it's rosewood. So very dark sounding, deep, brilliant sounding guitar. Lots of... The Dreadnought sound gives you that beautiful, chunky, kind of boxy kind of sound that you want. And when you start laying into the picking, like I say, it really, you know, like the... For picking. From one of my songs there. I got to play that live. People really like that riff. But you can hear the chiminess, the you know, a lot of low end in this guitar. So sound wise, I like this guitar. I'm very happy with it. It's not the best sounding 12 string I've ever played, but it is a really good one. So there's that. So when I first got the guitar, I was like, okay, I'm just going to buy it off the shelf, as is, as you would. And I'm going to play it for probably about 5-6 months and let the guitar kind of settle, because it's a new guitar, and all acoustic guitars, like, they don't take their shape right away. You got to, once you start playing them and the vibration goes through the guitar, it's kind of like, you know, you get up in the morning and you stretch, like your body's not your full functioning body until you give yourself a good stretch out. Well, that's kind of what has to happen to these things. In order for them to really settle where the action is really going to settle. And right now where the action is probably approximately where it was when I bought it new. However, I found it a little bit high, but I expected that. Almost every acoustic guitar, the action's high right off the shelf. Just is what it is. Pick a brand, any brand. It's not inherent to this guitar. But with a 12 string, typically the actions are going to be higher anyway, just because of the extra tension. Now, I just recently put these strings on. These are fairly new. And the guitar plays very well. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to do a setup on this guitar until about 6 months or so, where I know the guitar has been played enough that, you know, I'm not going to set, you know, like do a setup right away and then 6 months later I got to do it again. It's like, I'll just wait the 6 months, live with it the way it was. And approximately about 6 months later or so, not quite, I definitely did do an adjustment. But it was about this time last year where the issues started, last October. So the whole summer the guitar played fine. So March, yeah, it was late winter, early spring, right? Guitar played fine, everything like that. Over the summer the guitar played fine, held tuning, perfectly in tune pretty much every time I played it. No issues, right? I did notice by the end of the summer, because we had a lot of really extreme, you know, hot day, cold day kind of thing. And then in October, like now, the temperature just dropped right off, right? So I'm in Canada, just so you know. So again, there's 7 other guitars in this room, and some of these guitars have been in this room for many, 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 many years, right? So they're well acclimatized to this room. And usually, if I get a fluctuation in action, it's very, very little. Not enough to even require an adjustment, especially on the electrics. They almost never require any adjustment due to temperature change, right? They might go out slightly out of tune just from hot, cold, but at that worst case scenario, right? Well, I come into the room one day, and the action on this thing is like really high. It was just kind of like an overnight thing, and I'm just like, well, what the hell happened to my guitar? So I immediately looked at the back of the bridge to see if it had come up, and it didn't. And I looked at the guitar to see if there was kind of like one of these things going on. I put a straight edge. This neck is still super, super straight. So I'm like, okay, well, what is it? Is it the heel joint? What is it? My only guess is that the wood was probably not properly dried, and that seasonal temperature change. Like, it's not like the temperature changes a lot in here, but the atmospheric, from, kind of like hot, humid summer to like cold, dry winter. And the heat source is on this side of the room, and it's never super, super hot in here. And the guitar stays over on the other side of the room. So it's well away from any kind of issues. I know how to take care of an acoustic guitar and where to put it, where not to put it. Like, you don't leave it in the basement kind of thing, right? For, just unless you got climate control down there, that, whatever, the humidity will get it. So that was the first major issue that I saw with it. I was like, oh my goodness, like the action was like unbearably high, like unplayably high. Like, it was, I don't want to say it was a 1/4 inch high, but it was scary high. And I was like worried about the guitar. It still played in tune, but it's just once you got up to here, it was like, oh my goodness, like you couldn't do that. Like, you couldn't get up there. Like, I mean, the action's still a little bit high right now, but you could still, Whoop, missed the sequencer, but doesn't matter.